1953, a kitchen in Richmond, Virginia. The woman at the counter is 41 years old. She feeds a household of 6. She has no dishwasher. She has no food processor. She has no microwave. She does not use a timer because she does not need one. She knows by smell and by sound when something is done. She has 3 pots on the stove simultaneously, and she is not rushed. She produced dinner in 40 minutes. She will be done cleaning up in 12. This kitchen is not miraculous. It is organized. It runs on a set of practices so integrated into her daily life that she does not think of them as practices. She thinks of them as just how a kitchen works. 8 of those practices have been almost completely forgotten. Here is what they were. The modern kitchen appliance industry generates approximately $12 billion a year in the United States. Food processors, stand mixers, air fryers, instant pots, rice cookers, specialty blenders, devices that perform one function and then require storage space. The 1950s kitchen had perhaps 5 appliances, most of them hand-powered. Its efficiency did not come from tools, it came from technique. Techniques that have been replaced not by better techniques, but by products. Here are 8 that still work better than what replaced them. Trick 1. The housewife mise en place. Professional kitchens use the term mise en place, everything in its place, to describe the practice of measuring and preparing all ingredients before cooking begins. The 1950s housewife did not use that phrase. She called it getting the vegetables ready before she turned on the stove, every onion chopped, every measure of flour set aside, every ingredient for the next 30 minutes of cooking sitting in its place before any heat was applied. The result was that she never scrambled. She never had to locate something while something else burned. She cooked with her full attention because the preparation was already done. The scrambled, frantic kitchen that many modern cooks inhabit is not the result of too little time. It is the result of skipping this one step. Trick 2. Cold water for protein stains, hot water for everything else. This rule was stated in home economics textbooks of the 1950s with the clarity of a physical law, because it is a physical law. Heat sets protein. Blood, egg, milk, and meat drippings are proteins. Hot water cooked them into the fabric of whatever they landed on. Cold water dissolved them before heat had a chance to set them. A woman who ran a stained blouse under cold water immediately and then treated it with a paste of cold water and salt before for washing had a clean blouse. A woman who put that same muscles in a hot wash first had a stain that was now permanent. This knowledge was so basic in the 1950s that it would have seemed strange to need to say it. It is now genuinely rare. Trick 3. Salt as a multi-purpose kitchen tool. A box of table salt in the 1950s kitchen served functions that modern households now address with at least 5 separate products. Salt poured onto a fresh liquid spill absorbed it before it could stain. Salt rubbed on cast iron cleaned it without soap, which strips the seasoning. Salt added to a pot of water before washing vegetables removed insects that commercial produce harbors. Salt rubbed on a cutting board with half a lemon deodorized and sanitized it without chemical residue. Salt dissolved in water made a safe fruit and vegetable wash. A pound of salt at 10 cents in 1952 did more kitchen work than $20 of specialty cleaning products does today. The knowledge is still correct. Salt's chemistry has not changed. Trick 4. Bread for broken glass. Every woman in the 1950s who managed a kitchen knew this. When glass breaks on a kitchen floor, the large pieces are swept. The small fragments and invisible splinters are collected with a piece of soft bread pressed to the floor and lifted away. The porous surface of the bread picks up glass too small to sweep and too fine to see. The alternative, going over the floor on your hands and knees with damp paper towel, does the same job less efficiently and risks your fingers in the process. No tool replaces this. There is no appliance for it. It is the knowledge that a material you already have solves a problem that modern households do not know has a clean solution. The bread goes in the trash with everything it collected. Trick 5. The stock pot that never emptied. The 1950s kitchen produced stock continuously. Every chicken carcass, every beef bone, every vegetable peel and onion skin went into a pot. The pot simmered. The liquid that resulted was the foundation of the week's soups and sauces. The cost was the scraps and the gas to simmer. The result was a flavor base that no commercial bouillon cube replicates, because commercial bouillon is salt and dehydrated powder, and the 1950s stock was collagen and mineral and long-cooked vegetable sweetness. Households that ran a continuous stock pot spent measurably less on canned soups and processed sauces. They also ate better. The practice requires a pot, water, heat, and the will to save what most modern kitchens throw away. Trick 6. The cold oven start for certain dishes. The 1950s cookbooks and home economics curricula taught a distinction that has been almost entirely lost. Certain foods are improved by starting in a cold oven. Bacon started in a cold oven renders its fat more slowly and evenly, producing flat, fully rendered strips without curling. Cast iron dishes placed in a cold oven heat evenly rather than cracking from thermal shock. Custards and puddings started cold set without cracking their tops. This is not a technique that any modern cooking show covers, because modern shows prize the drama of the preheated oven and the sizzle of hot pans. The quiet efficiency of the cold start method does not make for engaging television. It makes for better food. Trick 7. The planned cooking sequence. The 1950s housewife, who produced dinner in 40 minutes, did so because she cooked in the right order. She did not begin the quickest item first. She began with whatever needed the most time and worked backward. The roast went in first. The potatoes an hour before the roast came out. The vegetables 20 minutes before service. The gravy in the last 5 minutes from the roasting pan drippings. She worked this sequence out, not from a recipe card, but from understanding which foods needed how long and what she could do while each thing cooked. This is not a skill that requires culinary training. It requires a one-time effort to think through the sequence before beginning and then doing it in that order. Every week, the sequence is easier. Within a month, it is automatic. Start this week with the cold water rule for stains. That is the one that costs nothing and saves something every time it applies. When something protein-based lands on fabric, run it under cold water immediately. Do not put it in the wash first. Cold water. Then the next time you have a chicken carcass, don't throw it away. Cover it with water and simmer it for 2 hours. Use what results in a soup by Friday. 2 practices, the cold water rule and the stock pot. They require no equipment, no products, no subscription. They require only knowing them. You know them now. The woman in Richmond knew them at 22 because someone showed her. The chain stopped. What you do next is up to you.